top Justice Department official Rod Rosenstein, who oversaw the inquiry into alleged Russian meddling in 2016, is planning to quit, United States media reports. The Deputy Attorney General made the decision to step down after 2 years in the role. According to the United States media, he has been a frequent target of President Donald Trump's criticism. Mr. Rosenstein had reportedly considered resigning last fall after a report emerged that he suggested secretly recording Mr. Trump. The notorious Department of Justice official plans to stay on until the confirmation of Attorney General nominee William Barr. Sources say Mr. Rosenstein has yet to comment on the reports. Senate hearings for Mr. Barr's confirmation are scheduled to begin on 15 January. If confirmed, Mr. Barr will succeed Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker, who replaced former Attorney General Jeff Sessions after he was fired by Mr. Trump. There is no set timeline for Mr. Rosenstein's departure. According to the United States media, CBS News reports that Mr. Rosenstein will depart in the next few weeks, after Mr. Barr is expected to take over. According to Fox News and ABC News, Mr. Rosenstein had long planned to leave after 2 years as Deputy Attorney General. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders told Fox News on Wednesday that she will. The Deputy Attorney General has always planned to roughly stay around 2 years. My guess is that he is making room for the new Attorney General to build a team that he wants around him. She added, former Attorney General Jeff Sessions recused himself from overseeing Special Counsel Robert Mueller's inquiry into suspected Russian meddling in the 2016 presidential election. He then handed on oversight to his deputy, putting Mr. Rosenstein in the spotlight and leading to criticism from Republicans in Congress as well as Mr. Trump. But after Mr. Sessions was ousted in November, his replacement Matthew Whitaker took over the investigation, refusing to recuse himself. Despite his previous public criticism of the probe, Mr. Rosenstein continued to help supervise the inquiry. If Mr. Barr is confirmed, he is likely to take over the role of overseeing the Russia investigation. In September, the New York Times reported, citing anonymous sources, that Mr. Rosenstein had discussed recruiting cabinet members to invoke the 25th Amendment of the United States Constitution, which provides for the removal of a president if he is deemed unfit for office. The newspaper also reported that he suggested secretly recording Mr. Trump to expose White House turmoil and dysfunction. Mr. Rosenstein denied the report, which he said was based on anonymous sources, who are obviously biased against the department. A United States Department of Justice official later told the BBC that someone who was in the room and heard Mr. Rosenstein's secret recording suggestion had considered it to be a joke. In November, Mr. Trump retweeted an image of Mr. Rosenstein behind prison bars. The post suggested that he had committed treason. Mr. Trump has repeatedly railed against the special counsel's probe into claims that Russia sought to influence the election in Mr. Trump's favor. He has accused the investigation of being led by Democrat loyalists. Mr. Rosenstein has spent his career at the Department of Justice, and most recently served for 12 years as the United States Attorney General for the state of Maryland, before beginning his current role. In April 2017, a poacher has been ordered to watch the Disney film Bambi repeatedly after he was convicted of illegally killing hundreds of deer. Missouri hunter David Barry, Jr., must view the film at least once a month during his year-long sentence. He was arrested in August along with 2 family members for killing the deer, taking their heads and leaving their bodies to rot. Prosecutors said it is reportedly one of the biggest poaching cases in Missouri history. On top of the jail sentence for the illegal deer hunting, Judge Robert George ordered Barry Jr. to view the Walt Disney movie Bambi, with the first viewing being on or before December 24, 2018, and at least one such viewing each month thereafter. During his spell in prison, the 1942 cartoon about woodland creatures shows a hunter kill the mother of eponymous deer character Bambi. A months-long investigation, spanning several states, led to the arrest of Barry Jr., his father David Barry, Sr., and his brother Kyle Barry, according to local newspaper, the Springfield News Leader. While the total number of deer taken illegally is unknown, Lawrence County's conservation agent Andy Barnes said it could be several hundred. Barry Jr. received a year-long sentence in Lawrence County Prison after pleading guilty to illegally taking wildlife. He has also been sentenced to a 120-day term in Barton County Prison for a firearms probation violation, and both he and his father had their hunting privileges revoked for life by the Missouri Conservation Commission. 2 Scandinavian women tourists have been found dead in Morocco, with kids to their necks, the country's interior ministry said. Both bodies were found near the town of Imlil in the High Atlas mountain range, near the foot of North Africa's highest peak, Mount Topko. The women, from Denmark and Norway respectively, have not yet been named. A police investigation has been launched into their deaths. The Interior Ministry statement said, a popular tourist attraction has become the latest Chinese company to show solidarity with Huawei's chief finance officer, Meng Wanzhou, who was arrested in Canada on 1 December. Shannon Mountain Scenic Park in eastern Henan Province said it would waive the $9.40 65 yuan ticket fee for anyone carrying a Huawei phone. Ms. Meng, who was given bail in Canada, faces extradition to the United States on charges of breaking Iran sanctions. Her case has upped tensions with China. U.S. Huawei phones shoot grand photos on the mountain, a notice on the Shannon Park's social media account said. We wish friends around the world who support Huawei's success in bliss. The offer would last until 29 December, the South China Morning Post reported, but it was met with some criticism among China's social media users, who claimed it was discriminatory. Huawei phone owners are being offered other enticements too. They can get a 20% discount at a bar in Beijing. Seen in Beijing, bring a Huawei phone and get 20% off. Similar to this story, we covered yesterday https://CoQXL1IYPQL Twitter.com Sokolov. End of Twitter post by @LuoShunji. At least one firm has threatened to penalize anyone buying Apple products. A few days ago, Manpada Shenzhen, based Legend display manufacturer offered subsidies to any employees buying Huawei phones. It also pledged to fine anyone who bought an Apple iPhone United States prosecutors alleged Ms. May
46
used a Huawei subsidiary called Skycom to evade sanctions on Iran between 2009 and 2014. They also allege she publicly misrepresented Skycom as being a separate company from Huawei, and that she deceived banks about the true relationship between the two companies. Ms. May, who is the daughter of Huawei's founder, has denied any wrongdoing and said she will contest the allegations. Life of Huawei's high-flying heiress. The United States has been investigating the Chinese telecoms giant, the world's second-largest smartphone maker, since 2016, believing that it used Skycom to bring the United States manufacturing equipment and millions of dollars in transactions to Iran in violation of sanctions.